My name is Rhapsody. Ooh. It's Slay the Spire time. Let's go in with the Ironclad. Get that on Ascension 1. Now, you see this set seed thing down here in the bottom? I am going to endeavor to add the seed from each of my runs into the not comment section, into the down there bit, whatever you want to call it. Depends what community you're part of. Doobly-doo, down there section. It used to be across there, now it's down there. You can't see where I'm gesturing, but still. The pants, some people call it the pants. I'm just gonna say the description, because that's what it's called. So I'm gonna be trying to put the seed for every single episode in the description down below. That said, trying to. Until I make a habit out of it, it's just something that I've got to constantly remind myself of. So, play easy if I happen to forget once or twice or 4 or 5 times. I really want to do a defensive deck with the Ironclad, because I haven't done one in a billion years, and people get mad that I keep using Clash. Clash is really powerful, and especially for like a build like mine, where I like to hunt a ridiculous amount of elites in the early game. Clash is insane, right? Because none of the elites in the early game, save for the Sentinels, and then the Sentinels usually are the easiest to fight anyway. None of them really punish you that badly for putting a bunch of Clashes in your deck. All right, let's remove one of each so that I'm not so skewed to one playstyle. How about that? How about that, Miss Pat? 3 elite. Okay, 3 elite, late shop, early shop, only 1 rest, but 2 question marks? I can also have a double rest instead. 3 question marks, 2 rests, 4 question marks, 2 rests, midline shop, and 3 elites. That's also quite good. I actually just want more question marks than anything else. Events are ridiculous. Let's talk about something for a second, and that is the update that I am currently playing on. That is the beta patch for Slay the Spire. There is the option, Show Card Quick Select Keys. Now that's all of the numbers above these cards, and I can just select them using the numbers on my keyboard. So that's gonna hopefully make our play a wee bit faster, but it's also going to contribute a little bit of misplace, I have to imagine, at some point in the future. Let's take the Body Slam. Usually I would take the Thunderclap there, but let's take the Body Slam. Also, it's super important to upgrade the Body Slam, so we'll do that as soon as we can. Remove a card from our deck. Let's remove a Strike. Right, of course I don't want an early shop. I actually can't take advantage of it. Well, Orichalcum isn't something that would trigger in a Body Slam deck, right? Because you don't end your turn without block, because you have to play your blocks so that you can then play your Body Slam stuff. Marbles is okay, but a defensive deck typically runs longer. Blood Vial is okay again as well. Card removal is always premium. Yeah, I guess I'm not so sad I missed out on that one. Alright, thin this deck. I actually really want to get Bash out of this deck and have a different vulnerability generator. So I'm actually not even going to upgrade it. Ultimate disrespect. Okay. Next turn, draw a bunch of defense and that Body Slam, please. That's fine. Got my higher defensive card in my next hand as well. Yeah, near buds. Get a hell of a lot of damage in there. Also, yeah, this is going to be a pretty easy Lagavulin fight for us. Yeah, no, I didn't just misplay that. Cool. I just had to check in my head. Like, I didn't have the energy to play all of my attacks in that hand, did I? And it turns out, no, I did not. Molten Egg! Ooh, whenever you would add an attack card to your deck, it is immediately upgraded. So now we can take Body Slams and they'll be upgraded. Oh, crumbs. That's a Juggernaut. I don't want to put it in my deck, but it fits. Let's immediately upgrade it so it's not the world's most garbage card. It is not, let's be fair, it is not the world's most garbage card. Dreamcatcher, whenever you rest, you may add a card to your deck. It's not even that bad. It's just below the power level that I would want. Now, the Gremlin Knob is actually going to be a wee bit difficult for us. In fact, I probably should not play Juggernaut there. Because the situations in which I would benefit from Juggernaut are also situations I'm going to tend to want to avoid. Ow. Ooh, question card. On card reward screens, you have one additional card to choose from. Let's actually talk about this for a second, because I, personally, would have said that this is a bugged interaction. And in fact, in the past, I have said it. When you take the question card, and then you go to add card to your deck, it will only show you 3 cards, if you get them in the same spoils. Right? Like, I can see my cards. Oh, barricades there. I'll take the question card, and then it says the question card activates. See? But I'm not being offered another card. There was a thread about this, actually, on the subreddit, being reddit.com/r/SlayTheSpire. And the consensus that the vast majority of the community came to is that this is not a bug, because the add card reward is generated before you've picked up the question card. That actually makes sense to me. It's a little unintuitive, but it makes sense to me. Imagine a situation where you're rewarded the White Beast statue at the same time as something else. Now, I know because the White Beast statue is a boss reward, that doesn't happen because the boss rewards chest happens at the very end. But imagine that White Beast statue was a relic that you could get at this point, right? If I picked up the White Beast statue, would I expect to have a potion generated immediately for that end of fight? No. Because the potion is generated when the rewards are generated, and at that time, I did not have the White Beast statue. Although it's a little more muddy, the same kind of general effect applies here. Let's take the barricade. Now we're just looking for entrench. Oh, God. I actually don't... I should have struck there, sorry. Yeah, I don't play the barricade here because the enemy is actually going to ramp up at such an effect that I'm not going to have time to benefit from a barricade. Not really. There we go. Shrug it off. Has to be. It's a nice defensive card. We're actually running one of those nice defensive decks. Nice. All right. We're pretty much going to have to upgrade Barricade before we can reliably use it. It's difficult to include a True Grit in this deck because I'm making the deck as thin as possible. So a lot of the times I'm going to find a True Grit where I can't play it. So at the moment, I'm not going to take it. Right. I'm weakened here, but weakness is not really a thing that I give a care about. Body Slam does a lot of damage. Energy is a great pickup for us. Out of these, it would be Seeing Red, because we actually have a little bit of draw in the deck already, courtesy of the Shrug It Off. But we also have all of these cards that are a bit too expensive for us to play. I'm going to take a Seeing Red. Okay, now... just gonna wail on that backliner there. Because we have a chance to stop you in the next turn. No, do we? No, we don't really, do we? Ha! We totally do! That's really cool. I like that. I like that. You're stealing my truck. I like that. Alright. Keep wailing on the undefendable. And then take that back line out. I get 2 turns against this sentry. Beautiful. It's even better because you're dazing a discard pile right after I've already formed my new draw piles, so these daze effects aren't even likely to impact me at all. Letter Opener. Now, this is actually quite good in a defensive deck. Whenever you play 3 skills in a single turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies, so effectively it's just going to be like an amplified version of my Juggernaut for us. I kind of want to take a second Seeing Red, I gotta be honest. No, because if I get both in the same hand, I'm sad. I don't have enough draw to take a second one yet. Now, let's upgrade Barricade because it is super important. And at the moment, I don't really have the ability to play it. I'm also actually going to throw the Poison Potion in here because this is going to be a rough fight for us. Well, we've managed to fully defend ourselves here using the Block Potion, but we didn't get to play Barricade there. The answer is almost always going to be play or defend, because it was 5 extra damage to my body slam there. Oh, crumbs. I can't even play the Barricade this turn. It was 5 extra damage on my body slam, but it was also 5 damage courtesy of Juggernaut. Actually, it would have been 10 damage if I played another block there. That's my bad. Should have done that. Yeah, unfortunately, due to having only 1 defend in hand and a burn, we're just going to take damage here, and there's nothing I can really do about that one. All right, I was trying to perfect this fight, but as you can see, that wasn't really in the cards. I'm going to use a standard defend here, because there's actually a lot of cards in my deck that I don't want to draw. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to draw, for instance, another upgraded defend, because I want to leave that in my deck to draw for later, when I'm actually able to play it. One of the most important cards in an archetype like this is the Entrench. Should have done my draw first, by the way. Almost always the correct option is to draw first, then do everything afterwards. Almost always. Again, there's exceptions to almost every single rule. I kind of want it, like, because Feed is immediately going to upgrade, I kind of want to take it from the Molten Egg, but at the same rate, it's really not necessary. Like, it's going to weigh down our hands and make us less likely to get enough defend cards, because you've got to think about, Body Slam is not an aggressive card, right? At least not in the standard sense. Body Slam is a combo card. You need it in hand, unless, of course, you've already barricaded and done a bunch of setup. You need it in hand with a bunch of defensive cards, otherwise it does nothing. So what do you do in combo decks? Well, you thin out all elements that don't exist in that combo, hence why majority of the strikes have been removed. Or rather, hence the majority of the strikes have been removed. And you add in cards that make that combo more consistent. Does this make that combo more consistent? No. Not at all, not even slightly. Immolate is interesting because it will burn another card out of my deck, but at the same rate, because I'm thinning my deck so heavily, the Immolate would be a bad True Grit for me, and I already turned down a True Grit earlier. This is unfortunate. Because if I make this transformation, any attacks from the transformation will immediately be upgraded, courtesy of the Molten Egg. But if I don't get any defensive cards from it, I lose. I actually think I have to take the Velvet Choker here. I'm sad about it, but Seeing Red, we just don't add a bunch more draw cards into the deck. We need the extra energy so that we can play Barricade alongside some other things. So that the turn we play Barricade, we don't just immediately lose because we played a card that's super anti-tempo. Same with Juggernaut, in fact. It's really difficult to find a place to play either of them right now. We need the extra energy. I'm so sad about this. Offering just became a bad card in this deck now. How weird is that? A bad Offering of all cards. I'm mad about it. Well, they are hyper aggressive in the opening, right? So we're never really going to be able to barricade against them. Okay. Let's get Seeing Red out of the deck because it's never actually really going to harshly benefit me. But also it allowed us to trigger the letter opener there. Hit the back line. Thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to have happen there. Bye-bye. Rage is interesting, but we have such a low density of attacks in this deck that it won't trigger multiple times. So a Rage Juggernaut deck is something that I've wanted to run for a really long time. So that's a deck that has Juggernaut, but no defensive cards except for Rage and a bunch of attacks. So it's an aggressive deck that has Juggernaut. It seems like it'd be a bit of fun. It wouldn't be great, but it'd be a bit of fun at least. One of the problems with this deck is, do I thicken it up or thin it down? Right? It's difficult to tell. Do I thicken it up by adding in a bunch of Shrug-It-Offs? Or do I thin it down by removing everything else that isn't Shrug-It-Off? Now, both of those accomplish a similar thing with respect to my the consistency of drawing Shrug-It-Off, right? Both of them make it more likely for me to draw Shrug-It-Off, which is a good card. But a second copy means I need to upgrade it. But more than that, I'm actually thinking at the moment in terms of score at the end of the game. What if I just had one copy of every non-starter card, right? At the moment, that's what I have. One copy, 1, 1, 1, 1. I could maintain that. I think I will. So I think I'm actually going to pass this Shrug-It-Off. Alrighty then. I should have played this Seeing Red as well there. Because now I'm going to have a Hex on me, which means I'm probably just never going to play the Seeing Red. Never mind. There it is. Immediately played it. I am such a liar. Thanks for the defense, sucker! Well, this is interesting. Iron Wave would immediately upgrade when put into my deck. And it's just a nice way to get a wee bit of block, but also direct some of my damage, which is something I kind of lack the ability to do right now. I'm going to take it. Oh, crumbs. Sure. Let's get both of our powers set up. Free turn to do so. Now that we have both of those set up, we're very unlikely to encounter a hand where we actually use Seeing Red. Hang on. What just happened there? We played 6 cards from Velvet Choker. I think I just found an exploit. We played 6 cards from Velvet Choker, and I swear that did a strike more times than I could do. Alright, I'm going to try and replicate this right now. See if I can. When you have Barricade, you know, most of the time, just playing a bunch of defenses is your best play. Hang on. So let's see if I can play this this body slam multiple times here. Nope. Huh. Could have sworn that was the trigger. Oh, well, never mind. I'm gonna not focus on that too much. Huh? What the heck? There was a card missing from that hand. Alrighty then, and let's finish this one off. I'm gonna try and not mess around with the game because it doesn't seem to like it. Alright, Dex Potion. That's actually real good for us. I'm still not gonna take a cleave. I do actually need AoE on this floor, which is, you know, gonna be a bit of a problem for us now, but still. Alrighty then. Just defend as much as I can. I'm pretty much just waiting for Entrench right now. As soon as I get Entrench, I'm going to be really happy about it. See, we don't really burn cards in our own deck, so Sentinel's not really going to, you know, work. That said, it's just 8 block. No, it's not good enough. Sure. Now, in a fight like this, we're almost certainly going to need a Dex Potion at the very least. Also actually going to go for a Swift Potion. Beautiful. So we have taken a wee bit of damage here, but as long as we play 3 skills, never mind. All right, and we are going to have a good fight here. Beautiful. Backliner. Goodbye forever. Shuriken. Every time we play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 strength. Not commonly going to occur for us, but it's fine. Again, a lot of things I don't really want. I'd really like to upgrade this Shrug It Off. Having 1 super energy to block efficient card is going to be really good for us. Yeah. It's pretty important we don't allow ourselves to get weakened there. Well, you're going to be resummoning this turn, so I actually attack you with both of these. Because that frontliner is going to die in AoE stuff. Kind of like that. Alright. You're resummoning again? Has this guy's AI been changed? He's doing a lot of resummoning and literally 0 buffing. Which is kind of like supposed to be his thing. Oh well. Mercury Hourglass, that's actually really handy. Gives us a wee bit of AoE that our deck is currently lacking. At the start of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemies. Power Through is really strong in a deck like this, except for the fact that this deck, since it is thin, is going to cycle back into those wounds a lot. And that's going to be real rough for us. Sharon's Ashes, whenever you exhaust a card, deal 3 damage to all enemies. The game clearly wants me to go Immolate and Wild Strike for occasional attacks and Power Through for our defense. But I want Entrench so badly. That's what I want to do. Game, please. Let me do it my way. Although I guess I'll try it your way because I don't really have much say. I'm actually still going to upgrade the Seeing Red, because we might not get a boss. What am I talking about? We will get a boss. We might not get a good relic after this boss. We've only got, 5 cards in our deck that are unupgraded, 2 defense, 2 strikes, and a bash, right? They aren't even super significant. We would have to take an armaments and then upgrade it for armaments to really be good in this deck. So obviously we're going to be removing a strike at the very least. I still don't think I take any of these, to be honest. Which is a shame. I really want good stuff from a shop. Okay. I didn't need all of that extra energy there, but I also didn't really need the card. We're not going to be able to stack defense in this deck, so that barricade is useless. Well, in this fight, because the enemy just ramps up at a ridiculous speed. Not in this deck, I mean in this fight. I won't be able to stack defense. I'm effectively looking for a defensive hand that has body slam. We got something similar, but not entirely there. Alright. Moiterum. Matroshka, the next 2 chests you open contain 2 relics. Dex Potion's a great pickup for us. Again, I would take the Shrug It Off, but I'm kind of trying to keep this a deck that only has 1 copy of each of the cards that it contains. Good, another shop. This is a really great pickup for us. Pretty garbage shop, though. Yikes. We do play 2 powers in every fight, so Birthface Urn is 4 HP for us every fight. That's still not really that great. Art of War is actually really good for this deck. If you don't play any attacks during your turn, gain an extra energy next turn. The only attack we really want to play consistently is going to be the Body Slam. Cool. I could also consider taking a Dex Potion there. I'm not going to, but I could have considered it, but then I did, and then I didn't take it, so. I'm wondering if I should rest before I go into this boss fight. I think I should. I just don't think I have enough immediate impact to go in by myself. We'll definitely take the flame barrier there. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have barricade up yet, because that would have been redinky donk. We are going to be using that potion anyway, so let's just get it out of the way with. We've got extra energy next turn, courtesy of using no attacks that turn as well. And that extra energy actually came quite significantly in handy there. Look at that. What? Shock. With a barricade, you've got to think about it, right? This deck with a barricade has some inevitability built into it, because the enemy at this point is not going to be able to get through that block. So when you think about inevitability in a deck, you don't really care about the immediate impact. You just care about getting to the long game. So that's why I wasted a lot of damage that could have gone for the backline, killing out one of the chumps, because I knew that the backline wasn't going to be a problem as soon as all the chumps were gone. Our win was inevitable. None of these, though. Fiendfire with Sharon's Ashes, especially upgraded, is pretty good, but it's pretty good in a deck that has a lot of draw, and this deck has none. Bow, bow. Yeah, a lot of the time it would just be a bad card for us. Oh. I think I have to take the Black Blood. Just more HP at the end of every fight. That gives us more time in the initial to set up our stuff. If I still had the strikes, I would take the Astrolabe, but I would transform a Bash and 2 strikes. But I don't, right? I would have to transform Defends. And they're still useful in my deck. They upgrade my Body Slam, and they also deal damage courtesy of Juggernaut, and they stick around forever courtesy of Barricade. The more reliable option is going to be Black Blood. It's too likely that I use the transform option. I transform 2 of my defense in the bash, and then I get bad cards, and then it's like, oh, well, I rolled and I lost. I rolled the bones, and the bones said no. Got a 3 elite path we can go on, so we'll take it. Okie dokie. I'm going to kill the one that's trying to add a bunch more negatives into my deck via those burns. Dual Wield's actually interesting in this deck because it can dual wield Juggernaut, but most importantly, it can dual wield Body Slam, but I guess also Iron Wave? There's like 3 really good dual wield targets in this deck. Now, the Juggernaut dual wield is a bit rough, right? Obviously. Because if you dual wield Juggernaut, you are now in a position where you have 6 energy. You've already played 1, so that's 1 energy down. So 7 total in order to get all of those 3 Juggernauts into play as well as the dual wield. And if you don't put them into play that turn, you've got to draw them again and then put them into play. So you're chunking up your deck until you have all of them in play. And we already have difficulty getting both of our powers out. They're just a bit expensive for a deck that doesn't have that much energy. Also, dual wielding the Body Slam is going to create a problem with our Velvet Choker. Dual wielding Iron Wave becomes the only target, so dual wield an Iron Wave in a deck of 11 cards, 12 when included, we're not going to take it. It initially looked good, but you take a couple seconds to think about it a bit more and it's not really. I do really want Metallicize though. Well, let's remove this bash. Now, 125 that cost me. There's another opportunity for removal later on. Oh no, but I don't even go that way. All right. Well, I'm gonna take Metallicize here, and it's definitely my next upgrade. Here's going to be like one of the only situations where if I saw the ability to take that offering, I probably wouldn't take it. The reason being, it would just not interact well with the Velvet Choker. We can probably out-defend this guy, so playing the Barricade there is probably not a bad idea. That's what I was debating the entire time. Do I even play the Barricade here? But yeah, we're actually building defense on top of him. We're fine, we're fine. Uh-oh. Beautiful. Again, Body Slam number 2 is interesting, but do I take it? No, I don't think I do. A lot of that is because of the end of game score modifier of having, you know, only 1 copy of each non-basic card in your deck. But also on top of that, a lot of our turns will have to be spent necessarily just building up our defense. And the Art of War gives us extra energy for not attacking. If we get 2 Body Slams in the same hand with not a particularly great defensive hand, like a setup hand that has Juggernaut Barricade, we're stuck. So instead, I'd prefer to remove cards to get to my Body Slam more likely. Same with the Iron Wave, in fact. That's a pretty great opening turn right there. And it gave us extra energy for this one. Boy, howdy. Now, a big reason why I like the Metallicize is because it's actually 5 damage every turn. Because it gives me 3 block at the end of the turn, which triggers Juggernaut, which then does 5 damage. So it's actually super useful, even when it doesn't look like it is. Again, same reasoning, still not taking it. This is going to be a bit of a rough fight for us. We're probably going to have to weaken one of them in the opening. So that should be the frontliner, just courtesy of the fact that it's doing more damage. And weaken is a percentage, so targeting an enemy that's doing more damage is going to protect you for more. Alright, we've already taken 1 damage here. At the very least, we've got one of our powers active. That's not an easy task for us to do. We're definitely not going to out-defend the enemy with the barricades here, so we just need to not play barricade. It's going to be too slow in this fight. That's just a fact. Well, I mean, now I can play it for free. Because there's nothing else I could have done with that energy, so fine. This is actually the kind of thing that Black Blood is protecting us against. Worst case scenarios like this. Ooh, Lantern! Gain energy on the first turn of each combat. That's actually really handy for us. Again, no, not really. If I didn't have the Velvet Choker, I would have taken Offering. I would have taken another Seeing Red, and I would have been taking a lot of card draw. But we do have Velvet Choker, so we're kind of limited. And when I say kind of limited, I mean really limited. I'm real sad about it. This is my sad voice. After years on YouTube, that's what counts for a sad voice for me. The overly performative sad voice. Hey, that actually worked out perfectly with the Juggernaut procs there. Beautiful. And Moida, get an energy potion. Entrench, beautiful. Thank you. I do need to upgrade Entrench as soon as possible, but I also want to go for 3 elites. Ooh. All right. Because Entrench in a deck that remains blocked just rolls out of control ridiculously quickly, so you need to be playing it early and often. Yeah, like now I can't be touched, and I've only played Entrench twice. Goodbye forever. Okay. And let's go for an Entrenched Body Slam right there. Self-forming Clay. When you lose HP in combat, gain 3 block next turn. Now that actually is interesting because alongside something like Brutality, it turns Brutality into a Metallicize that activates a turn late. Right? Because I take damage thanks to Brutality. It also draws me a card. Not take damage, actually, I lose HP. Take damage would be prevented by block, whereas lose HP is not. And then I get the block, and it'll deal damage courtesy of the Juggernaut, in the same way that gaining the block from the Metallicize is going to deal damage. So it's just an extra way of getting some defense in the deck. None of that. Prayer Wheel, non-boss chest now also contain cards, as well as the Red Skull. While your HP is at or below 50%, you have 3 additional strength. Neither of those are going to be particularly impactful in this deck for us, unfortunately. Actually going to murder that front one, because having these get out of control, right, and having a bunch of whatchamacallit. Hang on, there's a name for it. Burns. There we go. Having a bunch of burns in my deck is actually going to be real bad for us. So I'm going to try and limit the amount of burns that get put in there. Right. And now we're fine. Beautiful. Entrenched just locks in the victory for us, effectively. Alright, and... Consider, the reason I'm not taking Havoc, if you've been wondering this entire time, consider Havoc burns Body Slam, or Iron Wave, or, God forbid, Entrench. Congratulations, we just lost. Like... It's probably not a great idea to take a card that has, like, a chance of doing that to us. Pretty great opening turn right there. This actually brings up a point that I wanted to talk about, right? Why draft draw if you can just make your draw naturally quite consistent? Like, we don't really draw hands in this deck almost ever that we don't want. And that's because of the harsher removal. Second Entrench is difficult to turn down. Second Entrench would make this deck run away with it so quickly. It being the victory. Probably shouldn't have played the Iron Wave there. I would have gotten extra energy to play with this turn if I hadn't. Actually, you can use an energy potion here. Yeah, because I want to perfect this fight. And the energy potion will allow us to do that. Beautiful. Perfect amount of block right there. Nice. And goodbye forever. Strawberry, raise your max HP by 7. Ghostly Armor is actually not a bad pickup. This is the upgraded Combust. Lose 1 HP and deal 6 damage to all enemies at the end of a turn. Who are we fighting in the end? Yeah, I probably don't want to put more powers in my deck at this point, do I? Ooh, boy. Oh, whoops. I didn't even consider that. All right, we'll lose all this gold to get the red mask. Apply 1 weak to all enemies at the start of each combat. It's actually going to be quite handy here. Against the final boss, we might have a wee bit of difficulty ahead of us. No! I did that all in the wrong order. I should have used the numbers. I actually misclicked. I haven't cast anything incorrectly when using the numbers on the number pad yet. We should actually draw here, because otherwise this is going to be real rough. Please kill. Please kill. Oh, no, wait. I still don't have Metallicize up. Okay, that wasn't going to happen anyway. Yeah, that was a super huge misplay, by the way. Just not entrenching at the right time. I would have so much more HP. And the thing is, before the boss fight, it is going to be 100% necessary. Disarm is actually quite good. Especially against this boss. I'm going to take it. It's going to be 100% necessary for me to upgrade the Entrench. So I still don't even get to rest here. It's real rough. Have to do it. I might not have to play Juggernaut until this guy's in the second phase. If I can avoid it, I'll try to. And I think I can probably also avoid playing Metallicize. Off and French. Still don't want to take that 12 damage. Oh, we've got 2 cards in the deck of 10 right now that we can't play. That said, I think we're going to be fine about it. Just got to be very careful about the cards I click. Beautiful. If we get up to 999 block, we can pretty much safely do whatever we want then. Should have played the Metallicize there as soon as he went down. I didn't think I actually had enough energy to make him go down that turn, actually. Oh. Or I could just kill him. That works too. 1,142 damage. Don't mind if I do. So Highlander is the bonus that I was going for the entire time. Your deck contains no duplicates, and it is responsible for 100 in our bonus there. Now, unfortunately, this archetype does rely heavily on both Barricade and Juggernaut, so you can't get the Pauper, which is do not have any cards of rare quality in your deck. So, like, unless you had Calipers, Shrug It Off, Defend, Body Slam, Metallicize, Entrench, Flame Barrier, that kind of deck, it's going to be really difficult to get a Pauper version of this. We did get Lightspeed, victory in under 45 minutes by exactly 5 seconds. Hell yeah. 3 champions, 1 perfect, an overkill. Excellent. That's actually a reasonably good score there. Quite proud of that one. And that's a different kind of deck archetype for the Ironclad. Now, at this point, I'm going to quickly go to Compendium, not the card library, hang on. Statistics, run history. Right, I'm just going to copy this down. That's a seed. So that's the one that's going to have been in the description for this episode the entire time. You could have played along with me if you wanted to. Did I not mention that? I think I mentioned, I hope I mentioned that. Regardless of whether or not I did, that's going to be the case going forward. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. Your name has been Michael. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.